I always want to know why things work or how things work, and not just cause and effect. I want to know why the thing happens. And the thing that drives the thing, I want to know why that happens. So it's like these little threads that I would get a hold of. You take things apart and you draw schematics of them. I'd find an old table radio at a flea market and figure out how to put a line input on it and plug a guitar into it. So I blew up a lot of stuff on the way to figuring out what was a guitar amp. You can build a lot of super unsuccessful things, and through the process of fixing them and finding out what didn't work, you learn a lot. I kept hearing about Eric Clapton wants to do an amp. We were so busy working on, I don't know, the beginnings of the Mustang amps and things at that point. It was such an interesting project. And I just said, tell me what he wants and I'll just make it for him. I put together a prototype, and then he liked it a lot. I did some stuff for Edge after that. Hey, Edge needs a Tweed Deluxe, and we weren't building them at that point. I made a few changes to it. I tightened up the low end a little bit. I know Edge likes a particular speaker, so I switched speakers on it. All of these projects have started that way. You know, the pedal project, the thing we're working on right now, it was the same thing. I started working on things for me. Fender had a desire to kind of get more into the pedal space, and so I just stuck my paw up in the air and said, well, I've got a bunch of things, and asked for a little bit of rope. Let me run with some stuff and see, and I put a bunch of prototypes together. I'm Stan Cody. I'm a designer at Fender. I'm heading up the team that's working on pedals. With a guitar amplifier or a pedal, there's all these euphonic characteristics, and it's not easy to describe the math of that stuff. So a lot of it for me comes around to listening and playing and seeing how things not only sound, but also how they feel. I love the opportunity of a blank sheet of paper. I love the idea of starting from something because I can think about it really purposefully and think about it from the standpoint of exactly what does it need to do. I would get up in the morning, go make coffee. If I'm teasing an idea, if I've got an idea rattling around, I'll sit down at my dining room table and I'll start to kind of work the idea out on paper. You can look at a design on paper and kind of see what's happening, and it's neat to be able to kind of catch an overview of it because you can get a sense of the whole thing. I'll bring that out to my garage, and my garage has a workbench and a full stock of parts and a whole bunch of test equipment, 3 oscilloscopes and a bunch of power supplies, and I'll build it up in a prototype form where I can easily change components around and be able to play through it and listen to it. I'll get it into a metal box, so I'll build it on a material called perf board. And at this point, the components I'm using are very in keeping with what we would use. They're super high quality, modern components. I have parts left over from the 60s and 70s and things that I've had for a long time, but they aren't things that I would use in a design like this because it has to be repeatable. Our ID group got thinking about it, and they came up with this really cool door that makes the battery change really simple. The light pipe knobs, where the top of the knob has a light pipe built into it and an LED that illuminates it, so you can see what it's doing in the dark. And we put a switch on it so you can turn it off as well, but it gives you a really great way to know what's happening when you maybe don't have optimal lighting conditions. I love user interfaces that are clear and straightforward. I love it when it's really easy to find tones, and so I like kind of steering things in a way that makes it accessible. There are a lot of clones of things in the world, and I just didn't have any desire to do that. I just love the idea of starting from a blank sheet. If you go back to the very early part of our company, in our history, we built working tools for working musicians. I wanted to keep in the spirit of that, where it's not everything that's possible crammed into a box that you have to think a lot to use. It's a range of motion that makes a lot of sense for what you'd want to do to a player, and it's very easy to get to, and they're rugged. We have now assembled a small team who are really passionate about this, and so we have the ability now to go forward with more designs. So we have a very robust roadmap laid out. We have years worth of products that we want to do, and we have a daunting design schedule coming up.